Hello and welcome everyone. I am Linda Israel and thank you so very much for being here at my live stream on YouTube. I go live every Monday at 3:45 p.m. Central Standard Time unless I'm on vacation or something else comes up, but generally I'm live or I have a premiere video that you can come and watch. If you're watching this as a replay after the live stream has ended and you're on a computer, you can look for the little gear at the bottom of the screen and change the speed. If you're on a mobile device, generally the three little dots at the top, you can use those to change the playback speed to get through it a little faster, because generally my live streams last around 2 to 2.5 hours. I want to thank Robin for being my moderator and administrator and note taker throughout the live stream. She is generally my one right hand woman, if you will, and I am so thankful to have her. She also is an administrator of the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group. Occasionally, if she's not available, one of the other administrators will come over and help me, or a friend will help me moderate the video today. If you have questions, please feel free to put those in all caps and I'll do my best to answer those questions. If I don't see it, please ask again. Or if you know the answer to somebody's question, please answer it. Hey, if you have a YouTube channel, please feel free to share with us by saying, hey, I have a YouTube channel and this is what I do on it. You won't be able to share a link, but you can at least talk about your YouTube channel. Let's keep the chat upbeat, friendly, and helpful. If you are having a great day, let us know. But honestly, we don't want the negative, what is going on in the world right now, because we are here to escape that, to be inspired, to be friendly, and have some fun. During the live stream, you have an opportunity to earn junk bucks. You can type !bucks to see how many that you have once Junkie Joe is up, because this is preliminary and I've pre-recorded this. Once you have 2,000 junk Okay, am I live? Am I here? It seems like things are skewed and messed up. The lighting is all weird. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me okay? Please speak up in the chat if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, of course, then I guess you're going to say, hey, I see your lips are moving, but you're not making any sound, because just before I started, my computer went all wonky, so I'm not sure if anything works. Raffle. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Sheila, Robin. Let's see, who else I saw? Giovanna and Leah. Hello. And Janice. I'm live, Robin says. Woo, Henry says. I was like, oh my goodness, what happened? My computer just went crazy. Yay! Hey, Amanda Dawn. Hello, hello. Ah, so happy, happy day after Christmas. What is this, Boxing Day for you over the pond? Welcome to the last live of 2022. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Henry's even done early at the shop today, so he came home early. And he came in, I went, oh, well, now you make me feel like I need to hurry up. So, I hope y'all had a great day, a great Christmas. Oh, gotcha. I hope it does work, Ashley. I hope it does work. I hope that you, I don't know whether it got to spend some time with someone you love or just by yourself, or if you Zoomed or, chatted with somebody, so to speak, or if you went somewhere. So I hope you had a good day. We're doing painty papers, Julie. We had a very, very small gathering on Sunday morning. We were here for breakfast at 10 a.m. and we were calling it brunch, breakfast, whatever you want to call it. And everybody sat down, we ate, and we had my husband's family, father and mother, and then a friend of the family, which is the husband and wife and their adult son and his current girlfriend, who I say current, I mean they've been together for a while now. So hey, Julie. So we were glad to have them. And then my father-in-law got a call from his sister that they had a water break at their house, because if you didn't know, here, mostly I think the central United States for sure has had well below freezing temperatures. So a lot of people are having issues with freezing water pipes. So hopefully, they'll get that. They've got that all sorted. Robin says you too. She's hadn't had water since Christmas Eve. My daughter Ashley, they had a frozen water pipe, so it's very common. Frozen there too. Yeah, joy, joy, joy. All right, so here's what I have done. I don't know if Margie's going to be here, but I wanted to mention, I have it covered up at the moment, but this is my new glass mat. I'm going to have to put a filter on my light because it's showing reflection on the glass. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I may get like a piece of fabric and see if I can diffuse that light. But I've been wanting one of these glass mats because it's glass. I can use heat on it and not worry about warping my mat. I can cut on it. I can do mixed media on it. It comes with these awesome magnets. I'm so blessed. Thank you so much, Margie. She may watch this later on. I greatly appreciate it. And she sent me a little tag that she made with different little strips of paper, and then looks like some glitter paint that she used down the sides, and says Merry Christmas from Margie. And then, oh yeah, if y'all haven't already, get on the raffle. So this is my little tag that I'll put with my tree back here. And then, let me get this out. This is from Janice. Thank you, Janice. Yeah, finally, I got the new mat that I've been wanting. And so she sent me this cute little ornament that she made. A tape sticking to me. And so it is I gotta get it. Come on, Linda. I'm trying not to rip it. Get it to fold around. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab this paper clip and you clip it. Come on. I got it. I think I got it. And then you clip it, and so it's this cute little ornament. You see that? I don't know if y'all can see the glitter that's on the edges, which is meticulously done. But isn't that super cute? And she put a little tag on it. Oh, I squished it. To Linda from Janice. Thank you, Janice, for that. I'll add that to my tree later. And then she gave me, I haven't even really opened it. I just kind of peeked. She gave me, get this out. Look at all these laces that she gave me. She got some really pretty wide, flat pink lace and some brown and a blue. And then these trims. I have some of these trims that I've used in the past. They look really pretty on edges of pages. And then this is really pretty. Oh, this is like in a fabric swatch book. That's really cool. Thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Isn't that cute little ornament she gave me? And then she has a little card that she made. So thank you, Janice, for that. Put everything back in the little baggie so I don't get it dirty. and put it out of the way. Yeah, aren't those going to be pretty? Okay, so here's what I've done for right now. I've got my little mat down because I was taking book pages and I was coating them. So I'm going to do one for you live just so you can get the idea. I just take a book page and I've got, this is in case of white acrylic paint. So I'm just going to take a little bit of paint and squeeze it out. Now my paint is getting old. I need to get a couple of new bottles. I need a new bottle of ivory, and I think I need a bottle of white because this is almost empty, and maybe a bottle of black because I think my black was really old. Now I'm using a brayer. You could use like an old credit card or a gift card. I think my camera is off kilter here. You could use an old gift card or credit card. I find that if I'm going to use the book page that's been painted as writing space, I want it as smooth as possible. Now since this has got some little, I call them paint boogers, I'm just going to kind of push them off the page. And it dries fast if you use a very thin coat of paint. I want it to have a little bit thicker coat, so I'm just going to add, oops, that's way too much. I'm going to add a little bit more paint. I'm going to grab another book page. Did I just put my arm in paint? No. And I'm going to spread it over here on the second page so that I'm not wasting the paint. I'm using a soft brayer, a rubber brayer. You can use a hard rubber brayer for this technique because basically you're just trying to get it smooth onto your paper. And and that happens, your paper can go right up into your brayer. Trying to hold it down. So you kind of get the gist. You can keep playing with it and fussing with it until you've got it smooth the way that you want. I'm going to set this aside to dry. And then I have a gel plate that I got out. So I painted a bunch of these papers first. I think that one's dry. So I thought I would first show y'all some fun with the painted paper. So I'm just going to take this guy and roll it up and set it over here out of the way. So I've got painted papers here. I'm going to clean my mat just a little bit. You know, I don't want it to get dirty already. I mean, come on. Got a little bit of paint on it. What I like about this mat is that because it's glass, it's going to clean up really easily whenever I do make big messes on it. I just got to figure out how to fix the glare from my lights because I have quite a few lights above me to make it bright enough in here. All right, so I'm going to take a couple of these pages, and I thought first what I would do is play with some tattered angels. You know, I kind of like those. And it doesn't matter what colors. I'm just going to grab a few. I've got sapphire, and this one's called Jack Frost. I don't think I have that one in my shop. It's really similar to Curious, which is one of my favorite colors. I don't see if I don't even have one of those in my box here. I'm shaking it up because it has mica in it. And I thought what I would do is I'm going to spritz this a couple of times on the background. And then my thought was I would take this painted paper and just kind of pick up some of that paint. Now it's going to make some interesting patterns. I'm going to give it a second to dry. Now you could use a heat tool on it, and then I'm going to come back in and pick up in different spots. Now another thing I can do is I've got some water, and if this starts to dry, oh, don't spray your face. I'll spray the tattered angels, and I'm just going to kind of smush it around and see what kind of neat patterns I get. Okay. And another thing, you know, we could take our fingers because I'm wearing gloves. So that kind of smears it around. Kind of gives that water color effect. I think I want a little bit more along this edge. So I'm going to try to go in the wet paint. Put that on there. I don't know, just trying to make something different, okay? And I'll let that dry. So I'm going to set it aside. I've got to get my spacing made up here. Okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and clean this off, but how I'm going to do that, I'm trying to decide. I'm going to put some water down. And I'm going to take another book page and kind of use it as a towel. See what I get. Kind of something different, a little bit different. Waves of the ocean, kind of get some different effects out of that. All right, I'll lay that aside. And then I'm going to put down 2 pieces of paper. It's curled up, so I'm just going to go over the edge of my desk here and kind of roll it. You've done that, right? Where you kind of make it go flat by going over the edge of the desk. And I'm okay, it's got a little smooshed on there. So this time I'm going to take some water and spray it on top of the acrylic painted page. Then I'm going to grab some Tattered Angels. And let's grab a couple of, I've got a green here. So I'll add a little bit of green. Make sure you shake it up because it's got that mica in it. You don't want it to clog up your sprayer. That's kind of cool. And I'll come back with this a little bit darker, the sapphire. So I'm going to come back with some more water. So you kind of get some different effects. If you want it to run, you can pick it up and make it run. I'm going to try to make that paint move just a little bit. And then I'm going to take a heat tool again and try to capture some of that, okay? Ah, thank you, Lee. So you can just kind of add a little bit of heat to it, depending on how much heat you put will dry it faster. Another thing you can do if you're trying to mop up that paper really fast, I'm just going to take another book page and lay it on top. And see how that just kind of adds a neat little void there? I'm going to do it over here. And so that will add a little bit of color to this blank book page. I'll just kind of clean up my desk a little bit. And it's just all about happenstance, you know, it's just whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to stress about it. I like that. I don't know if this one didn't have as much text at the bottom. It may not have, but it's almost doesn't quite look like a book page anymore. I'm going to set this over to the side to dry. Let's add a little bit more heat to this. I was trying to keep these pretty much in the center so we can kind of cover up the lights. Hey Heather, welcome. So glad. Hey Sandra, glad you're here. Hey Ruby, hello, hello. Hey Bonnie, welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so that was using some blues of Tattered Angels, blues and a little bit of green. So I think I'm almost out of a lot of my pink Tattered Angels. I mean, there's a lot in there, but they're almost all empty. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this up, and I'm going to bring over a couple more papers. let these dry. So I'm going to spray it again with some water, which will help lay it down. And I don't care what the backside looks like, because it's just going to be what it is. What now? Well, the leak is fixed, and now another. Oh no! Good luck, Ashley. Ugh, how annoying. All right, so there's very little Tattered Angels in this bottle. So here's what I'm going to do, because I know I can't spray it out. And I save my bottles. What I'll do is I'll wash them out and check the sprayers. And if the sprayers are still good, I have a drawer that I'll keep them in. So I'm just going to toss it in my drawer now so I can do that later. So I got a little bit of pink going on there. And let's grab a different, this is a different shade. I really wanted a darker shade. I think I have a purple here. Here it is. So this is from Under the Sea Deep. It's a real dark purple. So I'm going to shake that up. Hopefully the sprayer. Well, Sandra, the key is getting a book page that is somewhat sturdy. I have a book here that I picked up at the dollar store for $1 back when they were $1. And the paper is really quite thick. It's almost the thick of two copy sheets. I mean, they're pretty thick. They're not cardstock thick, but they're pretty thick. And then adding the acrylic paint also gives body to your pages. All right, I like that. So I'm going to take a paintbrush. Oh, I like that it picked up some of the color on the background from the plate, the desk, whatever this thing's called. I got a little wrinkle in it. Now, if you don't want the brush stroke look, you can add some more water. And I just put my paintbrush in some water. So I'm just kind of coming back in. So these will be great writing papers. So I could take a portion of this and put it down to write over the top of it. Yes, the Tattered Angels a little bit will come up, but after you've handled it a few times, you'll get that surface off. Now, if you don't want the Tattered Angels to come up on your hands, that glimmer, then once it's completely dry, hit it with a fixative spray or even cheap hairspray. You know, the, what was that, Aquanet, the 99-cent a can, which it used to be, I don't know what it is now. It's pretty good at keeping it sealed. Yeah, a little bit thicker pages. And you have to test them. You know, when I buy books for mixed media, I tend to buy a new book in that it's been published within the last 10 years. If I'm using the pages for collage and I want the different textures and colors, then I'll use whatever. But if I'm trying to actually do mixed media with them, I find that it's just better if you have a new book. I also use my junk mail. Okay, this is turning out pretty cool. I like that it's got a little bit of that blue in the corner there. I think this needs a little bit more interest, so I'm going to wet my paintbrush and kind of come around and add a little bit. Okay, add a little bit more water. This is one of these things that you could just keep playing even with just the same piece of paper for hours and hours and hours. Yeah, Aquanet hairspray, the hair glue of the 80s, for sure. Yeah, it sticks to the acrylic paint. Now, if you're using a stencil with the Tattered Angels, what happens is it you'll kind of get a pattern, but if you spray it over the acrylic paint, it's kind of a muted pattern and it will kind of seep underneath the stencil a little bit. You kind of have to practice. If you're really, meticulous about it and careful, you can get some real pretty patterns. I'm trying to get this dry enough that I can play with a stencil on it. I think that's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay my heat tool here. You can hardly see it probably in my view, and that'll blow across the page. I'm gonna grab a stencil. Oh, this one will be a good one just because it's just the diamond stencil. And I think I'm going to just lay it across the top here. Let's grab, I've got sapphire, it's just a darker blue. Now I want it to be on here. This is another thing where I like this, these are gonna get so dirty, little magnets, because it can hold that down, and I'm just gonna lightly mist it. And then I will pick it up, and you see the tattered angels in a pattern now. So I'm just gonna do the same thing over here. Like so. I'm going to go ahead and put my stencil in a bath that I have back here of water and a little bit of soap because of the fact that sometimes when I change colors, I don't want my stencil to have that color. I'm going to lay out a towel here. Got to get one big enough because I can just lay my stencil on a towel and it can be drying a little bit. All right, so we got a little bit of that pattern on there. So I'm going to dry it some more. We're making a mess. You like that color? I like how it's kind of made it a little bit more purple. Move my paper down just a little bit there. Kind of blocking the glare. I think I'm going to like playing on this mat. I don't know how much I'm going to like it during my live streams. I may have to put something over it. I have a big one of those non-stick mats, and what I might do is cover it. I won't be able to cut on the surface, but I will be able to use the heat. I kind of like that. I don't think it needs much of anything else, and I know this is still wet, but I think I'm going to go ahead and lay this over to the side. Let's do a couple more. So I've got 2 more pages here. Getting it wet with the spray just so I can get it to lay out flat. Come on, lay out. Come on. Okay, so we're getting there. All right, added some water, and I think I've got another shade of green here. So this one is Christmas Wish Pine. So that's kind of pretty. And then we'll add the sapphire. I like it. And then I'm going to go back to the Under the Sea Deep, which is a real dark, dark purple. So here's a whole nother look of doing this. Now, I'm not going to paint it with my paintbrush, but I could kind of tilt it a little bit, let it run. And I'm going to use my heat tool on it to dry it. That's all I'm going to do this time. Makes you think of Alice in Wonderland with those colors with the checkerboard. Well, what did y'all get for Christmas if you were given a gift? What was your best little moment? Henry and I decided that we would gift each other a Instapot Pro Crisp, I think is what it's called. So it's an air fryer and an Instant Pot. We had a while back a what do you call that thing? A pressure cooker. I'm going to tell a story on Henry now. Henry made chicken and vegetable dumpling soup one afternoon, and it was early, and we decided, oh, well, we're going to go do something. I don't even remember where we went. And we left, and Henry had left the pot on the stove to cool because it was too hot to put in the refrigerator. Well, we get back several hours later, and it was burnt up. We almost burned down the house. It was not a good thing. So we decided that we would go ahead and get a new version. And so we've been looking at, oh, that's kind of makes a neat pattern, looking all over the internet and reading stuff. I kind of like that, and ended up with the Instapot. You got a water fruit infuser pitcher. I dislike water playing. My daughter thought, oh, well, that's good because then you can just put the fruit in there. A manual can opener from your brother. Hey, you know, some of those can openers are pretty good. I've got one that's made in America, and that's a good can opener. Wireless earbuds. Oh, gift card for someplace. Eckerly's Art. Oh, cool. Craft place. Cool. A Sizzix Big Shot. Awesome, Raven. Fun. Your mom gave you a set of dried herbs from the herb plants I gave her. Oh, neat, Manda. That's awesome. Kind of that re-gifting keeps going. Okay, so I like that background that we created. I think I want to grab a different stencil. So I'm just going to see here. I've laid out all my stencils, but I think I want to go to... Let's wait. This is the January 2023 stencil from the Artistic Stencil Club. By the way, I'm going to offer something to y'all. If you get my stencil club, and then if you make something using my stencil and then show my stencil in a photograph next to what you made, whether it be a YouTube post, a Facebook post, Instagram post, send me the link where you did this by using the contact me form on my website. And since you're already an Artistic Stencil Club user, participant, I will give you a stencil in your next order. So you'll get an additional stencil whenever you share my stencils with the world. All right, so I'm going to lay this over here. I'm kind of thinking that I don't know why I took that off the same corner, that I want to use this pattern all over. I kind of like the way that looks. So, the dilemma. What color should I spray over it? I think, let's go back with the sapphire maybe. Although I do have Jack Frost here, so I'm going to shake this up. And I'm going to spritz this. We're live! Oh, a heated throw? Your son sent you a bonsai starter kit. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I'm just adding a little bit. All right, so since it's on the stencil, I know it is, I'm going to move it off because I don't want to smush my pattern too much that's in the background, because it, you know, that's what happens when you spray Tattered Angels through a stencil onto painted paper. But I kind of like sometimes if you can mop it up. If y'all notice I'm wearing gloves today, there's two reasons for that. One is so that I don't get stuff all over my hands, and two is because I need to do my fingernails. And since I'm going on vacation this weekend, I didn't want to do my nails too early. So it's a very subtle pattern, okay? So that's what Tattered Angels does with a stencil. It reacts a little bit differently. You can see the pattern in there. So let me dry this. I'm going to take my stencil and clean it. And let's dry it a little bit. That's cool. What else? Oh, apparently I have Butterfingers, and for Christmas this year from our family guests that came over, and I told them all that we don't need any presents, okay? So don't bring any gifts for us. But she is such a sweet lady. She always buys something for Christmas for me and or Henry, and she went to Bath and Body Works and got 2 new hand soaps, because we always use that, and a really good candle. It was called it was a fairy, not Christmas fairy, something fairy. Well, I was moving the sack to go sit down to open it up and actually look at it, and I dropped it. And the glass for the candle shattered. And you should have seen her face. She was horrified, because, you know, that would ruin the candle. And I'm like, it's no big deal. I'm a crafter. I can figure this out. And so after she left, I took all the glass off of it, and we had a ceramic coffee mug that was huge that had the handle broken. You can't see it in the photo, but I took a photo of it and sent it to her. So, oops, I don't have my gloves on, so I can't use my thumbprint. I have to actually put in my password. So I sent her a photo. So there's what it looks like, and it looks just fine. It fit perfectly. We burnt it for several hours yesterday, so I was very thankful. Oh dear. So I was really embarrassed. I liked the way that turned out. That's kind of cool. And it's smooth, so there's no texture on it. All right, I think now I'm at a point that let's do some gel printing. Do I want to put it this way? I should put a piece of paper down. I think I've got one here. Here's what I'm going to do. That might make a little bit of difference. So I'll put that in the middle, and then I'll use my magnets. Magnets, that's a technical term. So I've got a 5x7 gel plate here. Let me contemplate. What are we going to do now? Get my derriere in my chair all the way. Putting away some of my tattered angels so they're not on the desk. All right, chair, cooperate. Has any of y'all seen the advertisement for these chair cushions that you're supposed to put in your chair, and the way you sit in them, it's supposed to help your pelvis and your back stay aligned correctly? Has anybody got one of those? I'm curious. Does it work? All righty. Now I'm just nattering away. Nat, nat, nat. Okay, what color do we want to start with? You know my color choices. You know what colors I like. What color do you want to see? All right. I think I'm going to start with this blue island. And we're going to put a little bit on here. You have one of those? Do you like it, Robin? Because now you sit all the time, you might like it. I don't know. All right, so I'm just adding a little bit of paint. I'm going to grab a piece of book page and just roll off my brayer. Okay. And then I think what I want to do is I want to make some texture in this. So simple things like this is a spool from a spool of thread. And I'm just going to come in here. My paint is really wet, so it's coming up really easily at the moment. I'm going to grab another book page and then just go ahead and do a gel print. So this is a one paint, one pass gel print. I'm just making sure that that paper is adhered to the paint. Yours has a gel pad in it. Save the butt from going numb. Not sure if it makes me sit up straight. Gotcha. You like yours? Okay, cool. Not that expensive. Cool. Maybe you sit, if you got it wherever you got it, send me a link and I'll check it out. Because I think I need to do that in here. Right now I'm sitting on pillows to make me tall enough because my chair won't go any higher. All right, so we got some crusty bits, and then this is just picking that up on a book page. Isn't that kind of cool? So there's still paint on there. I'm going to leave it. Let's add some paint. So this time I've got some pink. This one's almost empty, but I did see that I have another newer bottle I'm just going to shake it up. Now, when you open your paint, don't open it over your gel plate in case there's crusty bits in there, because they'll fall on your plate. So I'm going to add a little paint right there. I think I'm going to turn this around. Kind of blends that together, and I'm going to come back. Let's add, I thought I had purple out, but I don't see the darker purple. Let me see if I can reach it without killing myself here. Because I'm on a tether now and I'm using this microphone. All right, I don't know why I'm trying to put it up there. Oh, this one's got water in it, so we don't want that. I think that one was almost empty, but this one's a little bit better. Well, I guess I'm not going to get it. And this is drying faster than I thought it would. Okay, put a little paint on there. I like making these painted brayered pages too, because they can become great backgrounds. Isn't that kind of cool? I'm just going to lay that to the side. I didn't put any texture in there, so let's put some texture. This time I have an old gift card that I used a pair of my decorative scissors on. So I'm just going to wave through it like that. And then let's just go ahead and grab a book page. Now the paint may have dried a little bit, but that's okay. We'll get a partial gel print out of it. And this is a great way to just make a bunch of random papers. Now see, some of that's still on there, but see the layers underneath? And I'm just going to keep doing little stuff like this. Adding a little bit of paint. And then smushing it around. Let's do this lighter blue here. All right, let me get a stencil ready. What do I want to use? Okay, we'll use this Victorian panel next. And let's get it ready. So I've got it where I can just grab it. So I'm going to come in here. Give a little painting. All right, I need another book page. And then I'm going to grab my stencil and put it over the page. And I have one of these painted papers behind me. So I'm going to grab one of those. I'm probably not working fast enough, but I'm really going to smush that in there. And then peel this off. And there's my pattern. And then I'll take this one off and I'm going to put it in my bin to wash. Now it's going to be a very blurry print back there, but I'm going to leave it for a second. Put that in my bin to wash it off. Okay. What else? Ooh, you like that, Julie? You like the different colors? Hey, Robin, it's okay. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you, Ladybug? All right, so I'm going to let the gel plate dry just a little bit. And since I've got the green and this light blue, I'm trying to decide, do I want to come back with a pink? Let's come back with this. This is hyacinth. So I'm going to put a little bit of paint on here. Hopefully it's not going to be goopy. It's kind of nice when you're using the smaller gel plate that you can work a little bit faster making just pattern paper. You know, it doesn't really matter what you're going to use it for, just make some pattern papers. All right, so now I'm going to grab another book page and let's lift this and see what we get. Okay. So do y'all have plans for the new year? Do you stay home? Do you have friends or family over? Do you like to go out and party down? Love to know what you're going to be doing. I am going on a cruise. Henry booked it really fast and decided that we would go on New Year's for the very first time. All right, let's pick this up. So we're going to try to stay up on midnight the first night. Okay, so I picked the wrong color. And because I picked the wrong color, I didn't get the effect I really wanted, but I kind of like this muted background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something darker here. I'm going to take out my stencil from the water. Come out of the water. Because I really want to show this stencil because it's one of my favorites. So I'm just going to grab my towel here. And I just pulled this out of the water. And I'm just going to take a towel and rub it. I have old kitchen towels in my craft room. So whenever someone gifts us new kitchen towels, because I'm too cheap to go buy some, my old kitchen towels that are dirty, you know, they're stained or they got frayed, I just bring them in my craft room. You try to stay up, but not always. I understand that. All right, so that is clean. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to paint this a darker color. How about, let's go in with this blue. I should have shook it first. All right, shake it up. It's got a crusty bit on here, so I'm just going to peel it off. See that? You don't want that to fall on your gel plate. All right. I'm just trying to smooth this out real fast, and I'm just going to come in here on this page and kind of fill it in. All right. Oh, I picked up some of that paint. All right, Linda, quit fussing with it. I'm going to lay down the stencil, and then I'm going to come back to this page, and I'm going to lay it down, trying to line it up with the edge, and then pick up the paint. Okay. Used to go out and party in your younger years? Yeah, we used to get out and go do stuff. In fact, Henry and I were engaged on New Year's Eve at a comedy club. That's where we used to go. Oh, I like that. See how that looks? So you still get a little bit of that green in the background. You get the purple. I like it. I just realized I wanted to put all of these over here so I don't accidentally paint over them again. All right, so then I'm going to lift the stencil, and there's just a slight pattern in that blue on here. I'll go ahead and put the stencil away. And I think I want this time, let's use a lavender. You love that print? Yay! Poke, poke, nudge, nudge. Y'all get in on the raffle. All right, so now I've got this hyacinth. I don't know why I said lavender. Put a little bit of that on here. So in theory, this should be a really pale blue pattern, and then we'll pick it up with the purple paint. So let's see what happens. Okay. All right, we ready? Ever since? That's funny. That's funny. Oh, dear. Ah, I'm trying to read the chats here. Okay, poke, poke, nudge, nudge. Oh, dear. All right, so we're going to pick this up. Well, it's like lavender. So this is a real subtle background. I had a little smudge right there, but you know, it's just a pretty subtle background. You can still see that it's a book page, but it's got a pattern. I think that one turned out pretty good. More like a bad joke. Okay. Now what? Now what? I get, you know, it starts out that, you know, you're like, what am I going to do? I don't know. Well, I'm going to try this. Well, that's kind of cool. But what happens if I do this? But wait, what if I do this? That's how you need to take in gel printing. It's not necessarily that you're trying to have one particular goal over another, other than have some fun. Do something fun. I think I'm going to mix this dark blue. And I know I have way too much paint, so we're just going to use my brayer. And all right, so I'm going to brayer off a little bit. Put another book page here so I can just kind of I don't know, I'm having fun kind of just painting papers. All right, so then I'm going to come up here. Kind of making a little bit of an ombre effect. Hey there, ombre. How are you, mate? Sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, dear. Da-da-da, da-da-da. We're just painting away. I think I'm going to leave that one the way it is. Okay, so what do we want to put on there? How about a stencil? What? Linda uses a stencil? I can't believe it. How about from the December Stencil Club? I think, ooh, I kind of like that one. All right, so, oh, I do have one more white painted page. I'm going to do this. Put it this way. This is why my half sheet comes in real fun on the smaller gel plate too. You play and end up with the hundreds of papers to store. Well, that's true too. You know, use them. I don't know if Robin has got all of the swaps for 2023, but maybe we should do a mixed media paper swap. And you got to pick out, 10 papers from your stash and send them to somebody. All right, let's see what happens when my stencil shifted on me, but that's okay. And then I think since my stencil shifted, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to, let's brayer over that. I'm going to come back in with a purple. Pardon me. Add a little purple on here. Now it's going to turn out really faint because if it's got that blue underneath it, and I'm really trying to brayer it out a little bit. And then I'm going to remove the stencil, and we should kind of have a blue and the purple in the middle. It's not wet enough to pull it, so I'm going to let it dry for a moment. Look at that. Fun papers. I think, oh, what did I do with it? Well, Henry's still here. Hey, Henry. Okay. See these two plastic pink baskets on the floor over there? In that pile is some clear envelopes, and one of them has some painted papers in it that look like I've cut them up. Nope, bigger, bigger. Bigger, think bigger, Henry. Oh, thank you, Janice, for your donation. Yes, that one in that hand. I'll show you something that I've started while I'm waiting on this to dry. That I've started. So I took some of my painted papers. I'm waiting on Janice's sheet. Thank you for your donation. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to do the raffle. Sorry. Y'all get in on the raffle. So I took some of my painted papers and I cut it. In this case, it was 8.5 inches tall by about 3 inches deep. And then on the back side, I glued strips of 1-inch paper. I even put one down this edge so it'll be sturdier, which would be helpful if your pages aren't very thick. And I thought this would be just a fun way to make a bunch of little pockets. So this will be a side loading pocket that will go on my journal page. I do plan to go around the edge with my sewing machine and stitch upon it. Here's a bigger pocket that I've already stitched. And it's the same way. I've got little strips on the back, and then this is the same way. And I will glue these together and layer them up. I may come back in and stamp another layer over the top of that. And then what else did I have here? Oh yeah, and then I just did a bunch of, these were just scraps that I had left over. So I thought, well, they would be fun as different sizes of, oh, you know, this would be kind of cool. If I were to put this one here and then this one here, so you have a journal card you could put in there and a journal card you could put in there if you wanted, so you could have a layered look on a page. That would be kind of cool. So I've got this little envelope that I've started cutting up strips and putting them in there just for this purpose of making little pockets. All right, I think I spoke long enough. Thank you, Henry, for being my assistant. All right, let's put this over here out of the way so I don't roll over it with my chair. I think we're at a point now we can pick this up. I think I'm going to just come back in with white. Let's do white. And I like the way that one's turning out. So I'm going to do a scrap of paper over here. Get my white paint, shake it again. You have so many gel print papers and you plan on that for March, mixed media paper swap. Okay, cool. That would be fun, I think. Do a mixed media papers swap. Share them with other people. I got way too much paint, so I'm just gonna roll it off again. Okay. Then I'm gonna grab a book page, and put it down. Mush it into the page. All right, y'all into the raffle if you haven't already. So we're going to give away 200 junk bucks. Oh, that's what I'm going to do next. All right, which one? Let's do this one. Okay. All right. I now do that with folders that have my themes are together. Yes! You know, these little envelopes, I don't remember if I gave y'all the link. I got them off of Amazon, and they're great to put a project in that you know you want together, because then I can find it. And my next goal is, if I plan to store it in that for very long, is to put labels on the edges so that I can see them. All right, let's give away 200 junk bucks goes to Sandra L. Congratulations. All right, let's reset that. Let's go here. And then we're going to go here. I'm going to do pink. Well, I'm going to say coral. Coral, round body, angel necklace. So this next prize is something from when I used to have craft booths. And I would make things, so I made these jewelry necklaces. So it's a round bead here that's flat. So I kind of put it sideways. And then I have another bead for the head, and I have these little wings bead, and it's on a cord. And I think the cord makes it so that it comes down to like 20 some odd, 30, not 30, but 20 some odd inches. And you can tie it up tighter if you like it shorter. So I thought I would give away some of those that I made. All right, let's lift this print. You're very welcome, Sandra. All right, get in on the boss fight. All right, now let's lift it. That turned out kind of cool, didn't it? It changed the shade. No, I did use this color. I was going to say, I thought this color changed. In my mind, it changed. I like it. What do you think? We have pretty paper. Pretty painted papers. All right, let's see what else we can do here. What do I want to do now? 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 All right, let's get this stencil ready. Okay, let's see. Oh, we got a hanging Chad. Get rid of that. Oh, this is from, I didn't even show y'all. I'm going to use another stencil from the December 2022 Stencil Club. And what do I want to do? Oh, let's do this green. Yeah. So I've got citrus. I'm going to put a little bit of citrus on there. Put the paint over here, Linda, out of your way. You love it, Lee. Thank you. And then this is Island Blue. So I'm going to put a little bit of Island Blue. And we got a painty goober. A painty booger. Alright. And then put my ruler up because I don't want to get paint all over it and then I can't read the numbers. Alright, let's come in here. And kind of clean off my brayer just a little bit. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of mush up and down. Okay, there. I'm going to lay this stencil over and then carefully, I'm going to see if I can't pick up this print without it moving too much on me. My problem is I put too much paint and the whole thing slides. But that turned out pretty good. So you kind of get that ombre effect. Alright, so I still have a little bit of paint on here. Just kind of smoothing that out a little bit. And since that's on there and I've already lifted a color, let's grab a different color. How about, this is a different shade of blue. I don't know how well it's going to work. Ugh! Oh, let's see. I'm stronger than I thought. I pulled the whole thing apart. Okay, put that back together. All right, I'm going to come over here on this piece and brayer off a little bit. I'm trying to roll off the paint boogers. All right, so then let's peel this back, get rid of this stencil, and I'm hoping that I didn't wait too long, that I can come in here and pick that up as one print. I don't do this with my big gel plate very often because I feel like it dries faster. You love that stencil? Thank you. Well, that's the December Artistic Stencil Club, December 2022. And you can still get that stencil set. And if you don't want to keep the subscription, you can just go in and cancel it at any time, or you can message me. So what do you think? How does that look? I think that looks kind of cool. So now I want to do something different. Oh, I'm trying to put this in the wrong spot, Linda. Okay, I haven't used this one yet, and I like this stencil. Also from the December Stencil Club. Get a drink. All right, this time, pardon me, I got hiccups again. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add a little bit of blue. Not a lot, just a little. And put my, I think I need to pull the lid off another bottle that's empty. Pardon me, I got the hiccups. I drank some soda pop. See this one. I'm going back through my painted papers and I'm looking for some, oh, that might be a good one. Okay. so that I can use it to pick up the paint. Pick up the paint. Pick up the paint, yeah. All right. Okay. I need a book page. Let's put that over there. All right, pull up the sleeves. You love that one, Giovanna, thank you. All right, so I'm just gonna put a little bit up here. I'll brayer off a little and then come down here. I'm just kind of coming up, back and forth. All right. So now I'm going to lay this stencil on top. I'm going to grab, let's do this one, this painted paper, and lay that over. What I'm doing is just kind of picking up the paint through that stencil. So this is the pattern. Isn't that cool? All right, and now I want to add some color here. So I'm going to get the lighter purple and put that down here. Yeah, no, I'm going to put it up here. Put the lighter purple up there, and we're going to do a little bit of this green again. And we're going to do the same little going over the top. All right. Now, if I'm fast enough, I take this off and grab a painted page and lay that on top and then smooth that out. And see if I made mud. That's cool. What do you think of that? So we get that darker purple and a little bit of that darker blue and darker and purple there. Something different. Okay. So I think I haven't done very much pink. So let's do a little bit of pink. Okay. And I've got a different shade of pink. Okay. And let's use this hyacinth again. Okay. Love it, Julie says. So again, I'm going to kind of do the ombre effect across the top here. All right, let's see if I can do this. It's going to kind of run a little bit, but that's okay. Let's go here. Here's another from the January Stencil Club. Okay, get my words out. So let's do this one. And let's find, how about this painted paper? Lay that down. Okay. Well, that's kind of cool, isn't it? All right, so we have pink in the background. We want a little bit darker color, so let's come back in with, let's do the purple. So I'm going to do a little bit of purple. Oh, and I just saw I got a hanging chat in there. Get out of there. So I'm going to do a little bit of purple. And let's do this darker blue again up here. And I'm okay that there's color still in here, okay? Oop. Well, I think I'm going to have to go with it because of the stencil mood. So I'm going to just lay that on top. Put my stencils in the water so I can use them again. They'll clean up easy. All right. Really get that paint on the paper. All right, so how many of you are going to get your gel plate out? Oh, okay. Better focus here. All right. So there's a pattern. Oh, I know what I want to do and I haven't done yet. I've got some gold and silver paint. All right. What do I want to do first? What do I want to do? I think I need some more painted papers. So I'm going to lay this here for a second. And I think this one will be a good background. Something different. So I've got those three. I've got my gold acrylic paint. Let's get a different stencil. Oh, how about the November Artistic Stencil Club? I think I like this one, and I like the flower one too. So let's do, I like this one too. Which one? Let's do the flower one first. So I'm going to get that ready. I'm going to put down some gold paint. Trying to work pretty quickly. And then we're going to grab this stencil and lay that down. Trying to maximize the pattern. So I'm going to come back with this painted paper from earlier and lay that down. So it should put the flower pattern with the color of the paint behind it. What do you think? And now what I want to do is add some other color. And since we're kind of doing the purple and pink, I like that darker pink. So I'm going to put down some pink. I still got a paint booger. Hey, Norella. Hello. Norella's got some new digitals. She has some Victorian unicorns and some real pretty Victorian butterflies that she just recently made. I love them. I was going to use them today. I got them all cut out. The unicorns I did. Henry, in fact, was trying to hand them to me a minute ago. Maybe I should have him come bring those back to me if he's still here. And I thought, well, I really want to do some mixed media, some gel printing. So maybe I'll use them at the end. Nice and quiet Christmas the way you like it? Yeah, good. My Christmas was good. It was uneventful in that we didn't have anything happen, but Henry's aunt had a water leak from freezing pipes. Okay, what do you think? It was on there just long enough that it picked up some of the bits underneath, but that makes that outline is in gold. That's kind of cool. All right, I usually do it in a different sequence. I think I've already used, did I use all those stencils now? No, there's one more. Okay. So we've got the January Stencil Club. And I have this stencil. Which do I want? Okay, this is the same pattern that repeats over and over. So I definitely want that to be a gold background. And this paint dries relatively quickly if you don't put too much down like I do. But it gives me an opportunity to brayer out We're breaking in my new mat. Getting paint all over it. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. And then y'all can tell me what color you want to see behind that. Oh, the downloads that Norella had were awesome. The sewing printables, yep. Fun. Alrighty. Let that dry a moment. I've got a golden painty paper, so I'll set that aside. Who knows, I may need it. Let this dry a moment. Metallic paint, depending on how thick you put it on, can dry pretty quick. Awesome. Okay, good. So you can get them later if you are still on her. I can't talk for some reason all of a sudden. Norella on Calico Collage has a newsletter that you become a member of. And in her newsletter for Christmas, she gave away a digital every day, and it makes one kit when you're done. If you didn't get signed up, check out her website and get signed up for her email. Okay? All right. What color do I want to do behind the blue, gold, purple, yellow? Let's do purple. Sorry to be yelling. All right, so I'm going to put down a little bit of purple. And I think I'm going to come back with, almost had hot potato with paint. Well, that's got another booger in it. Book page. Kind of just blurring those together. And then grab a book page and lay it on top. So this is going to show you can do it different ways, getting your patterns. Depending on how wet your paint is, you can put paint down, put a stencil, then lift paint, put more paint down, lift the whole thing after you remove the stencil. Sometimes I feel like, okay, so I had too much paint, so it's a little bit mushed. But let's see what happens if I can get the rest of it. I kind of suspected I had too much paint, but that'll still make a good background paper. You make a pocket out of it, layer another image over the top of it. You won't notice that it was a oopsie. They're not oopsies, they're opportunities. So that kind of turned out cool. Now, what I can do so that I can use this print, I put up the tattered angels. I really want a purple, I think. Let's see what I've got here. That would be a good. I got that color. Okay. I guess I need to get some more fully purple tattered angels. All right, so I'm going to shake up. This is black cherry. I ordered some from Tattered Angels, and some of my order leaked because it froze. That was last year. So I've still been going through all of them. I'm going to turn this way. And so what I'm doing is going around the edge here. And then give it a moment. I don't want to use, I had a paper towel. Here we go. So that's another way of bringing out the color and the pattern. So maybe your paint didn't lift, we can spray it with Tattered Angels, and that gives you a whole different look. What do you think? Painted papers, oh my. Okay, I like that. I liked how that turned out. I know I want to do some more gold. Let's grab a different stencil. I used all of those. What else do I have? Oh, I have the, did I not use November? Here's October. I think I want to use, where is it? I think I want to use this one. Although I kind of like the way the boxes look in that. I hand draw all my stencils, if you didn't know that. And then I turn them into a digital file so I can send it to my laser. And then we laser cut them in-house. All right, so we got this color. I think what I want to do, yeah, is put down some gold. Get a little book page here so I can clean off the brayer. That's an interesting pattern, isn't it? On there. Okay, let that dry. Get another book page. Oh, I already have one. Get another book page. Gotta have the book page handy. What else can we do here? I kind of like that gold. That gold. That gold. All right, so what color do I want to put on the back of that one? I'm going to try the purple again. Just because I'm kind of making a little series of these colors, you know, you make them where they kind of match a little bit. All right, so let's add a little purple. This gold paint may not be dry yet, but I'm going to rush it. I'm just going to rush right in. Okay. All right, let's do this. And then let's do this. Now let's do this. Let's clean the brayer. So I did a little differently that time, just to see how that affects the paint. Green and gold. Green, gold, and purple all go together very well. Yep. So we need a green. I'll get a green out next. Oh, the next subscription box. Didn't we discuss it was going to be... we haven't figured out the name yet, but it's going to be about astronomy and astrology. So it's going to have a mix of all things about the stars, all things celestial. Maybe we're going to do celestial is what we'll call it. Do you like that idea? The second request is about music. I've got stuff set aside for both of those themes. I may do one more poll and get y'all's input. So there it is. The gold paint was still a little bit wet. You can kind of tell over here. But I think it made a nice pattern. Celestial, Norella says. Celestial. Celestial. And we can also sprinkle in, I need to look. How about with a few angels in there, Norella. You like that? Celestial, about the stars. We've been kind of discussing it back and forth. Stars and planets, yes, Julie. And then a little bit of the, you know, being a Leo, being a Capricorn, whatever, mixed in with that. So I don't know, that was my thought. All right, so we got a pattern here of gold that'll kind of subtly pick up. So let's pick a different stencil. This one is also from the October Stencil Club. So I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to come back with the gold paint again. Get that smooth on there. So we're going to have two subtle patterns that'll show up. Because this one's still there, and then we'll have this at the top and the bottom. It may, yeah, I know, Norella, that's what I'm trying to think. Do we, I think more if we go with the celestial critters, like a lion and a crab, but the celestial astronomy, zoology. Leave the Leo and such out. Hey, Norella. Hey, Julie. Stars, moons, planets, constellations. Yep. Okay, gotcha. All right, let's dry that. So we got a nice little painty paper here. Get a new painty paper over here. So, there you go. Vintage telescopes. Yes, yes. So you can look up at the sky. Leave the Taurus out. You have a bull in your life already, Bonnie. Zodiac, yes, I couldn't get the word out. Zodiac. Signs, symbols. All right, I'm trying to decide what color. Oh yeah, green. We talked about green. I dropped a painted paper. I need it. A little bit of green, maybe. And let's do this lighter lavender with it. No aesthetic, or I'll have to skip this month. So we'll do a little bit like that. And it'll be later in 2023 when it comes out. We're not doing it right away. So it'll be a little bit later. I think we're only going to do maybe 3 kits next year. So I think the next kit is the celestial bodies, like planets and whatnot. And then the next kit after that, I was thinking of doing music instruments, that kind of stuff. Okay. Let's pick this up. All right, let's go like this and pick it up and see what we get. Okay. I'm focused. I'm focused. Different constellations. Gotcha. Gotcha. Just in the stars. All right, let's see what we got here. Well, I had too much paint, but I got a neat background that I can use. There's still a little bit on there. Let's come back in with some more gold and a different stencil. So I'm just gonna grab what comes next. Ooh, I like this, the Romantic Flourish stencil. I hardly use it. So we'll get a little bit of a pattern in the gold. Okay. I'm really trying to smooth this paint out because I got a little too much. So we'll brayer off a little bit. There we go. No, no fortune telling type stuff, no. Okay. So I put a little bit of that gold on there. I didn't really get the green that I wanted, so I'm going to get another green out. Well, apparently I had a little booger. I'm going to get my tweezers and I can get in here and get this little piece of dried paint. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Shake the paint. I think this will be good for a painted book page. All right. Yeah, it's a bright gold. That is the Antique Gold by Master's Touch. And I'm also using Anita's all-purpose craft acrylic paint. And you can mix them together. It's okay. You just got to experiment with it. Okay. Yep, we'll iron it out. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay, I think I may have got enough. So I'll put down some gold, or green, on that gold. And I've got a little bit darker green, so I'm just going to put a very small amount down here at the bottom. Okay. It'll be a very subtle green transition. Okay. Green, green, green. Here we go with green. Love that gold. I do too. The gold is really cool. Really want to soak that paint up. You can kind of tell it's starting to release because the book page will start to feel cool to the touch because that paint just coming up into the paper. Sometimes if you have the time, if you leave it set for just a little bit longer, you get a better pull because it really gives that a moment to adhere to the paper. Yeah, that one's Antique Gold, and I got that at Hobby Lobby. And I like this gold. It's a bright gold. I got a little bit of the pattern. I still have some paint on here, so I'm going to try to lift it one more time by adding some more green. If I'd left it just a little bit longer, I might have gotten a better pull, but all right, let's pull this one and see. Okay. Okay. There's still a little bit still on there. You can't quite see it on there. So I think a different color would have worked better, possibly. Here is the September 2022 Stencil Club. And I think I'm going to use this one. It has kind of little hearts, flowers. I'll do it in the gold paint again. Now this I could have done a little differently. I could have put down the color first and then used the gold, and the gold would have been the frame, but I think I'm going to like it as most of the pattern being the color. Alright, so I just put my stencil in the water. I do have another gel printing tutorial that'll be coming out, and I need to edit the tutorial for the monthly challenge, which I know the month is over, so we're just going to do it for January. So those are coming. I'm thinking that one of my next live streams, I've got a couple of unfinished projects. So maybe it'll be a UFO, unfinished fun. Is that what they call it? UFO? Unfinished objects. Unfinished objects live stream, where I'm just going to grab a couple of things and see if I can get it to completion. Like I've started a journal with the horse stable kit. I forgot the name of it. It's something farms, and it has the horses ranch farm, horse ranch. I don't remember. See, I haven't looked at it in a while, but I see it and I need to finish it. I've got some tutorials that I've recorded, but I haven't edited yet. I've got an unfinished Wild and Free journal. I found that it's in a Ziploc baggie, so I may kind of grab some more stuff and like put it in a baggie and say, okay, this is what I need to finish this journal, and that's what I'll do during the next few live streams coming up. Just because I need to use this stuff up, and sometimes I don't have time. I don't go back and revisit it, so I end up with too much stuff, probably like you do. All right, so this should have dried enough, and I really want this green to work, so I'm going to try it with a darker green. I was going to use this lighter green. I got paint everywhere. Use a rag. It's a good thing I have rubber gloves on, because look at that, all over me. These are cheap. These are the ones you can get at the dollar store. Usually you got 10 in a package for $1.25. Well, I did when I purchased those. It's probably been a while. I have a little bit too much paint, so I'm just trying to pick up just a little. I may have picked up too much now. You want enough that it'll wet that layer of paint below. And gold paint sometimes takes a while for it to come up to the surface. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go over that. And I think what I want to do is kind of play with some of these painted papers over here to the side. So I'm going to lift this up. Well, I thought I was. I'm going to lift that up and set it over there. And let's play. Let me get my other mat, because it might tone down the white around us. All right, so we've got this start of a painted papers. I know I have some sea sponges, so here's a couple of sea sponges. So I'm going to get them wet in my little tub of water that I have behind me. And I don't care that it's dirty water, because I'm just going to get it wet so it'll soften. In case I want to use that here in just a moment, I'll use just one. The other thing I have is a dauber. So this is a little dauber that I just leave a foam piece on here. And after a while, it'll eventually get crusty and gross, and you peel it off and throw it away and put another one on. So let's grab a stencil. So we're going to do some direct to paper stenciling. So I'm looking for a stencil that I want to use. I think this one. So I got the July Artistic Stencil Club, and I've got this flower one. Grab it. All right, so I'm going to lay that down. I like the magnet idea. I think I may need some more magnets. So that should help hold it in place just a little bit. And where I stencil is going to be gold. And then where the flower is, it will be green, right? In theory, that's what we got here, if I do this right. So I'm going to take, which one do I want to use? Let's use the dauber. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue up here, kind of my palette, if you will. And grab my dauber and then just pounce. I want to work fairly quickly. Hopefully I'm not bouncing the camera. Come on, stay where I want you to stay. I'm going to have to wash these magnets. They're going to be covered in acrylic paint. It won't be as thick down here as it is. Okay, peel that off. And there's my pattern. I'll put that in, stencil away in the water pretty quick. That's kind of a different way to doing it. I could have used a little bit more paint, but I like the idea of it being a background, okay? So if you don't have a gel plate, you can achieve some of this just by adding 2 papers. So here is this one that's, oh, I think we can redo this one with a different stencil too. All right, so I'm going to clean off my dauber. I just poke it in the water a couple of times. And then I have a old dish towel that's sitting underneath my tub of water. So now it no longer has the color in it. But I will try to squish it a few more times to get all the water out of it, so that when I put it down on my paint, it won't pick up a whole bunch of water in it. All right, so we got this one. Let's do a darker color. Grab a different, oh, I like this stencil. This is from the June Artistic Stencil Club. Let's put that down. Stay put where I want you to. Hey, Margie, I missed you, lady. How are you? Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate your donation. You're so sweet. All right, so this has that lighter green under there. Robin just said she liked the green and the gold together. So let's do the green. This one's green of leaf green. Leaf green. So I'm just going to put a little bit on my palette. I'm using the glass plate, Margie, although I am using a thing over the top of it. I was getting a glare. But I think I'm going to like it. I got to fix my lights so they don't glare on my desktop. So now I'm just coming in with a green. Now, another thing I could do, and I think I will, I'm just going to add a little bit lighter green down here. Thank you, Lori, for your donation. I have 2 Christmas journals that I made during the live last week that were left over that we can do for the giveaway today. A little bit later, I'll go back over what they look like. I'll show them to y'all. This kind of changes the subtlety. All right, so when you feel like you've got it coated the way you like, let's remove the stencil. What do you think of that? I like it. I like it a lot. Cleaning my dauber out again. Clean the dauber out again. Gotta clean the dauber out again. All right, we'll put that back up there. I think that one turned out pretty cool, especially with the softness. And because the background is already painted gold. You know, I think I've got another idea I'm going to try right now. I'm going to do it. So I've got 2 book pages here. Let's do it where I see the book pages. I've got some gold acrylic paint. And I'm going to just brayer this over the whole page. I'm okay if I got other color in with it. It's all right. It's all right. It's part of it. It's part of the mixed media experience. We're actually mixing medias. Okay. So that's pretty much coated in gold paint. All right, and then we'll come over here and coat this one as well. So this is another technique that if you like that gold showing up and you want a stencil pattern over it, then put down the gold first. All right. shouldn't take very long to dry because, like I said, the gold paint usually dries pretty quick. So I'm going to let that set for a moment and come back to my gel print that I laid to the side earlier and let it set for a really long time. And then here's how that gel print turned out. It's a little muddy in the middle because there was some other layers of paint in there, but it just kind of gives it a cool, different effect. What do you think? Hey Ashley, you're back. The magnets came with the board. The magnets came with the board. If you go to, I don't know if you can, if I hold that for a moment, and you could come back with your camera and read that QR code, but you could save 10% off the magnets. Marianne Hobbs, I forgot the name of her shop all of a sudden. I stuck the envelope here. It's got paint on it. Happy Paper People, she is I can't get my words out. That's who Margie bought my glass plate from. I don't know if she just helps the little guy, if you will, or if it's a lot less expensive through her, but I was very thankful to get it. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is pick another stencil. This should be dry now. And let's stencil a pattern down. Stencil a pattern down. Stencil a pattern down. Stencil a pattern down. Do I want to go back to... No, I don't want that one. Oh, yes, I do. So what if we use this one over one of the pages? So remember, when we stencil over this, I'm going to just lay the painted paper over here all the way. The gold will remain where we see the stencil. So it'll be almost like we hand drew in the other, and I'm going to do it at an angle, just so we have a different way it looks and it doesn't, if it's crooked, it's always crooked. All right, so I've got two shades of the teal and blue. So I've got medium blue and island blue. I'm gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna put one right here. I'm gonna put one right here. Now I'm gonna use the sea sponge this time and see what I get. So I'm gonna kind of put it in both colors at the same time. So it depends on the look you want. Another thing I could do is just kind of rub it, but I think I want to do the stippling. Jessie was a friend. All right, let's go. Sometimes my right arm gets tired, so I switch. So this is kind of therapeutic, just pouncing the paint up and down. So if you don't have a brayer, you could also use a kitchen sponge. It's going to give you a completely different texture. Okay? That's an official word, texture. Yeah, so the mat is magnetic, so the magnets will stick. I love it. That's why I like it, because it's holding down my other stuff so it doesn't slide around. And I didn't need it this time, but it was helping me hold my stencil in place. Okay, I'm trying to get this as covered as much as possible. But I think it's okay if it's kind of got some rough spots. Now I'm going to put my sponge in my water behind me. I smushed it a little too much on some of it, so it kind of has a blurred lines, but I kind of like it. Yeah, it's a lot easier to clean. Oh, the full name is Happy Paper People, Marianne Hobbs. I'm friends with her on Facebook. If you're friends with me on Facebook, and we have, well, just send me a message and I will share her link. Happy paper people. Yeah, happy paper people. Happy paper people. Now, here's what I like. Now I can take my heat tool and I can fire it up on top of here and I don't have to worry about warping my mat. Y'all into the raffle for, let me make sure that my hands are clean. Of course, it's in a package. For the little angel necklace that I made. This is a throwback to the day that I had craft booths. I made hundreds of these and I sold hundreds and hundreds of these at the craft malls where I had my stuff, but I had some that I brought home and I used to sell them for $10 a piece. I thought, well, I'll give y'all some. I kind of like the way that came out. All right, let me see if I can get it off the back. So can you see? It's still a little wet, but I got it enough dry, I think, that I can move it, and as long as I don't put anything on top of it. All right, let's do that again with this one. We already painted it, so I just need to find a stencil that I want to use. What do I want to use stencil-wise? October. I used all of those. That's the Christmas. This one might be fun. That's the little daisy stencil. Little daisy stencil. All right, so we need a bright color and somewhat opaque so that it'll come through. So I'm going to look over here. I've got green. I've got a heavier body paint that I think would work. I don't have very much of this left, but maybe this color. And then I have this darker blue. What else do I have here? I have this shade, and I have purple. So I think maybe that darker blue might show up better on that gold. This one or this one? I think this one. Let's go with this one. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. It's just paint. So I think I'm going to go back to the dauber again. Bye, Norella. Have a good night. And squeeze that out. And this is a heavier body paint, so it's going to be a little bit more opaque. All right. So you need to get in the raffle. Get on the raffle. Oh, yeah. I was going to put the magnets so it doesn't move on me. I really want this to have some good coverage, and I'm going up and down and trying not to move it back and forth side to side so that it ends up going under the stencil. I need one more magnet, I think, because I'm noticing that because this one corner isn't down, it's lifting on me. I'm going to try rolling it so that I don't pick up the stencil. I think that works better. I think what was happening when I was dabbing, punching it up and down, it was lifting, it was sticking to my little dauber. All right. Take this off. Well, when I started doing the rolly, it went under, but see here when I did up and down, how much clearer it is. So that kind of tells you what you need to do. Yeah, they have a lot more stuff than glass mats. You like this stencil a lot? Yeah, my little daisy stencil. It's one of my favorite little ones. So you can kind of see the difference, rolling it, going straight up and down on this side. So learn from my experience. I have just a few more pages left, so let's do the raffle. Let's do the raffle. Maybe we'll come back and make a little something. I don't know. We'll see. Alrighty. Thank you, Janice, Margie, and Lori for your donation today. You know what? Let's do another one of those. Let's see what color. Oh, here we go. That's what we'll do. Okay. Stay. I feel like the color is not white on the screen, but we're going to go. The next winner of this little coral colored angel necklace is Janice Brammer. Congratulations. All right, so I'm going to reset that. Go yes. And I think this time we're going to do, what do I want to call this? Copper brown? All right. I've got another one. It's kind of a coppery bronze little bead here, and it's got a clear crystal bead for the head, and it's got a ribbon for the tie. So you, again, can adjust it to whatever height you want, or you could put it on a chain, or you could put it on some cording. All right, so y'all get on that. I think what I want to do now is I've got some silver paint like this gold. So I'm going to grab that. And I think I'm going to paint a couple of pages. Let's do one to start with. All right, brayer. Sometimes if my brayer sits for a while, it ends up with a layer of paint that keeps it from rolling. All right, I didn't get enough in this corner. So this is silver paint. It's the same brand by Master's Touch. Okay. It doesn't take too long for that silver paint to dry either, but I am going to go ahead and hit it with a heat tool. And let's grab another stencil. How about from the April Stencil Club? I think this one would be a good one. So let's use that. That was from the April 2022 Artistic Stencil Club. All right, so I just want that dry enough that when I come back in, and I still have some of this teal paint up here. So we're going to make sure that I daub straight up and down. Put the magnets on here to kind of help keep it in place. Actually, I think it's making the stencil move too much. Okay. I think it works a little better because this paint is kind of sticky. Let me see how that looks. Okay, I think what I want to do is add a little bit darker color, maybe a little bit of purple. So I'm going to put out a little bit of purple here. It's really dark. So I'm going to grab more of this lake blue. Put it beside it, and then I'm going to kind of blend this together. Okay, I think I like that. I don't want it just to be that one color by itself, so by introducing a little bit of this purple, it'll kind of get a subtle change across the page. I'm kind of blending it as much as I can so that it's not just all one color. I'm in my own little zone here, just painting away. All right, I think I like that. What do you think? It may be hard because it's probably kind of glaring, but the silver background, I feel like really, I don't know if my colors are, pardon me, looking that good. I wonder if I can adjust it. All right, so if I click this here, is it the contrast? That makes it too bright. I think right about there really shows you the color a lot better. Let me see if this makes a difference. Right about there. Okay, let's try that. Purdy, you like it? So you don't have to have a gel plate. You can achieve patterns like this. Let's do another silver paper. We're on a roll now. So we'll put down some paint. I like to try and make a few pages that blend well together. Also, I tend to use the same color palette a lot. And because I do, I can use a lot of these together with no problem. I'm not going to worry about the smudges of the other color of paint. I'm going to dry that a little bit. All right, let's get this stencil out if it's in there. I may have already taken it out. Nope, I got it. So that's again from the April 2022 Stencil Club. You like the silver? It's pretty, isn't it? All right, so let's put this stencil down. And maybe we'll introduce a different shade of blue here. Okay. So I'm just grabbing a little bit of that other shade of blue. I may need some more of this teal. So now I'm kind of picking up that purple. Blending them together, my dear. Oh, I'm sitting here stenciling the background, not the actual paper. Now, if you used a piece of newspaper or butcher paper or paper sack or paper on the roll, you could put that behind wherever you're working and use those as your painty papers. So I'm going to grab some more of this teal. Those make cool backgrounds. But I end up with so much of that stuff that it just seems easier to me to use a mixed media mat and then just clean the mat off when I'm done. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit darker in some spots. All right, I think that looks good. Ooh, look at that. Pouncing it straight up and down. Now you are going to get texture by doing that, where a gel print is going to be smooth when you lift it from the gel plate. What do you think? I like it. I like it a lot. I think we need to make more. I'm like a kid here. I'm like, ooh, let's try this again. You like that? All right, let's put a little more of the silver on. Trying to spread it around. And you can still see that it's a book page underneath. So for those of you that like to know that you can visually tell that you're using junk, just make sure you don't cover the text below all the way. Just leave enough of it showing that you can tell, okay? More. You're in the mood for blue. Apparently I am. Yes, that is so true. What do I want? How about, let's see, maybe, let's do this one. That'll be an interesting pattern. And that's from the November 2022 Artistic Stencil Club. I still have these colors of paint up here, so I'm just going to kind of go in and pick them up a little at a time. And I'm trying to make sure this time that I actually paint on the paper more, not concentrate on doing the edge of the mat. It's funny because my video that I recorded, I did a lot of this color too. So I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to go to pink, I think. Pink, I think. Think pink. I'm really trying to get in here and cover. Now, if you pounce too hard, you will get the rings of the little dauber. Those will show up on your paper, so kind of blend those out. Okay, I like it. It's subtle, the change of color, but it's there a little bit. Trying to get it loose of the... And you can't even tell it's a book page anymore, can you? I mean, it really obscures it. Can I do blue and then silver on top? Okay, so I'll need a different stencil so that the pattern looks right. So we've got blues here. So I will grab a little bit of this teal and a little bit of this darker blue. And my brayer, and we're going to brayer that out. If you want it to not have the splotches so much, you'll have to add a little bit more paint. I think I need a little bit of this purple in here too. Yeah, that kind of blended it in, didn't it? Ah, I keep folding it over. Come on, stop it. Ah! That's because I keep fussing with it. Just stop, Linda. Just stop. But I can't stop. I have to keep going. All right, there we go. Let's give that a dry. That's a nice little mix of blue, okay? So we'll dry it, and I'll use my other hand to see if I can find a stencil that I feel would work the best. Maybe this one, okay. All right, let me see if this is what I want to do. I think we're going to do this one up here. Because what it'll do is make those silver and the background will be blue. So here's the silver. All right, so I need to kind of clean off my dauber a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and wash it. Because I don't want to add more blue. I want it to be silver. This is the silver. Let me dry my dauber. Dry, dauber, dry. I say dry, dauber, dry. All right, where'd it go? I need to put a bling on this like I did on my distressing tool because it keeps rolling away. Listen, Linda, listen. I'm trying to listen. I hear you. I hear you. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. All right, so we're going to come in here and pounce the silver over the top. It takes a little bit longer, I think, sometimes to do it this way. And you definitely want to make sure you get your stencils in the water as quickly as possible. Especially with these metallic paints, they have a tendency to stick to the stencil. It doesn't really affect it too much, especially if you're consistent and coat the whole thing. But it can lend your stencils to have texture to them. If you're doing a mop-up page with the Tattered Angels, you'll get like this weird texture because of the acrylic paint. So if you get it in soapy water as soon as possible, like keep some beside your desk while you play, then you'll have better luck getting your stencil clean. What do you think? I'm making sure to push it down into the water beside me so it hits that surface. And the longer I leave it in there, the better. All right, so I'm going to peel that up. It may still be a little bit wet, so I'll get my heat tool here. But I wanted you to see that a little more closer up. Is that what you wanted to see, Miss Robin? Pretty. Oh, I must have a hanging chat on that stencil I need to pull out. Okay, looks cool. Yep, even plain water does it. You just got to get it in that water as soon as possible. All right, I think I want some pinks. So I got out my bucket of paint, Let's see what I've got here. Do I have the same color more than once? Who here buys the same color more than once? Not just me, is it? I have these pinks and two of the purples. I think those would be a fun mix to do. So I'm gonna brayer. Let's do this dark pink and maybe a little bit lighter pink. And let's do this kind of medium. It's called purple. So the first color was rougey. Boozy rougey. And then this was light magenta. And then the last color was purple. So I'm just going to kind of just moving my brayer around. And now I'm just going to really focus on brayering this out. So it looks like the rouge is a little bit more difficult to move on the page, but if I keep, oh come on, keep brayering it, keep folding it over. Book pages are so forgiving though. All right, got a little bit of blue on there, but that's okay. I mean, we're just making background painty papers. You have a two of a couple colors? I'm not the only one, I know. All right, so we need another stencil that'll put a cool pattern down. I think this one from February would be good. If we did that in silver. So where'd I put the silver paint? Here it is. Let's put a little bit more on here. I'm going to leave that in front of me so I can find it again. And then we'll use our little dauber and pounce up and down. You can see on this stencil it has some gold, and it was because I was playing with gold paint and I didn't quite get it in the water fast enough. But by putting another layer of paint over it, when I put it back in the water, it may help lift it kind of like a gel plate does. It is bright, isn't it? But once you mix it with the other colors, it's not near as bright. Okay. I like it. Wow, it's already almost 6 o'clock. I'm just sitting here playing away. I hope you enjoyed what I'm doing today. That, you know, you can see the direct paper techniques, using tattered angels, using a gel plate, mixing it with stencils. That it helps you to figure out, hey, I've got this whole book. I loved the cover, and I used the cover to make a journal, but I have all these pages. What can I do with them? Well, think about your color palette that you enjoy and make some painty papers, as we say. Some mixed media papers. Yeah, you're going to have some failures. It's going to happen, but don't worry about it. Just go with it. And if you can't stand it, put it in a package, go to the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group and send it as a random act of kindness to somebody in the group, or RAK is what we call it. And they'll be tickled pink to get some painty papers, don't you think? Robin said we're going to do a swap. I like it with the silver bind it. And again, you can't tell that that is a book page anymore. That could be like a professional printed paper. I may go in and scan some of these, I think, that I like the best and offer those. All right, so we did one pink painty paper. Let's do another one. So now I know I'm going to do this. Grab the pink and I'm going to get a little bit of this lighter purple, and we've got this darker purple. It's a thicker paint too. I think it's old because it's really coming out stiff. I probably should try to add some water to it. All right, so I'm going to grab some of this paint. Okay, and then I'm going to grab some of this paint, kind of work it in. And then let's see if I can't make this paint. There we go. That's what I wanted. Was to kind of subtly go across the page. There we go. Ah! Stop it! Stop it, I say! Don't be so mean to me. Okay. I think I got it. Come on. I'm almost there. I just got to get that. There we go. That smoothed that out a little bit. Okay. Let's dry it. Love the purple and the silver. Yeah. You like it, Julie? Thank you. Thank you, Ashley. Pretty. Love the purple. That fluoro pink. It's a great, yeah, different effect for sure. Those happen to you that rolls up in there. Stop it. It's still a little tacky. Don't be tacky now. All right, let's pick another stencil. Oh, I want. Oh, maybe this one. I'm thinking maybe this one. I don't know, because that would mean that the frame would be purple and in the background would be silver. Okay, let's do that. It's kind of old school Art Deco. Yes, naughty paper, naughty. It's cold and humid. Well, see, it's dry here. We're dry. I had to plug in a crock pot. I got the idea was you put a crock pot full of water, and then in my case I had essential oil, so I just dropped a few drops of lemon essential oil in it. But if you have some leftover lemons and oranges and apples, put it in that water And as it heats up, your whole house will smell like what you're cooking in that. And it'll raise the humidity. It is so dry here. I think it said 29% humidity in our house. And I was like, oh, I've got to do something. We have a humidifier at our shop that I have to have there before our printer. So we had the humidifier here for a while, but when we had so many problems with our room not staying humid enough, we moved it up to the shop. So I thought, well, I'm going to try this crock pot technique that somebody else shared. They were been sick for a few days, and they had put some fruit in theirs and turned it up on high to get it really hot, and then turned it down low and just kept filling it full of water. Yeah, pumpkin pie filling. Ooh, that sounds good. You smell it. You can smell it. All right, I think I got ready for the reveal. Ooh, I kind of like it. What do you think? Ooh, it's pretty. Yeah, Linda will have fun putting away all her stencils. Yep, you're exactly right. I have my file folders now that, you know, I have pictures on the front, and I'm trying to keep them somewhat in order that I used them today. So what I'll do is I'll go wash them and then lay them out to dry, and then I'll just start picking up one at a time, and I put the folders in my lap and I just start sticking it in where they go. I think I like that one too. It picked up some of the paint off of the page, but I mean that's completely covered. It needs to be dried a little bit still. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope that it gives you some ideas to try, and that coming in the new year you're even more creative and crafty and just happy with your craft space and doing stuff. Share with others. Should I do one more? I got two that are that pinky color. I think I want to do one more of something. Let's pick a whole different color scheme here, because I did those brighter blues. I see some green. So I've got these two shades of really old paint that I've had forever. So I'm going to open this up and put a little, I may need more of that. I'm using a heavy body paint. You love what? Oh, thank you, Julie. Oh, well, I hope you had a good family day, Connie. So this was some really old paint that I got, and I know I didn't pay $5.99. It was probably in one of those bins that if you buy this, you get it for an additional percentage off. All right, I don't know if this, it may be, oh, I forgot. It squeezes out the side. I think I need to try to clear off the paint that is around the edge, but I don't want to touch it with my fingers right now. Okay, kind of put that back together. Put it back in my little bag over here. Let's brayer this out. It's really dark green, but I think the silver would look good on it. Okay. I think we're going to do this one, and we're going to be, I'll show y'all the, thank you so much, Janice. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you. I'll show you the last raffle item here. So that's the last free raffle that we're going to have. I might do one more little raffle since we didn't, I don't need to give away a journal, but since we didn't, how about if I just give y'all another necklace? Okay, we may pick two winners. I kind of like that green. It's dark, see a spot on my computer screen, and it's paint that's flicked up there. Flicked up there. That's what I said. Flicked. I didn't say anything else. I said flicked. I am going to go ahead and put my brayer in the water because this green paint is really sticking to my brayer. Thank you, Janice. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Margie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I'm cleaning my brayer off a little bit in the water. I may go ahead and just leave it in there. If I need another brayer, I'll get it. Okay, so let's pick one more stencil here. Digging deep into the stencil pile. Digging deep. I may want to stand up. I've been using a lot of my Artistic Stencil Club stencils, but you all are probably getting sick of seeing those. What do we have here? Well, that would be kind of pretty. Oh, this will work. I believe this is the Bella Roses. Bella Roses stencil. And I'm going to come back in here with the silver, which is going to have these silver, they're going to look like silver foil. That's what I think. You know, you can pretend it's silver foil wallpaper. My in-laws still have foil wallpaper in their home. It's gorgeous. One of them has bunches of butterflies on it. Well, they had lightning strike their house. And if you have foil wallpaper, did you know that lightning will travel through the foil and burn it? You could have your house catch on fire. It's a real thing. It hit, but thankfully it did not spark, but it did ruin some of her gorgeous foil wallpaper. And that's not something anybody puts up anymore, because people just want to paint it and be done. Who would put up foil wallpaper? If money was no object, you could have whatever painter you want without any consequences of somebody getting mad that you put it up. What would you put up? Or would you? What do you think? Clean my stencil, yes indeed. Alrighty. I'm going to dry it a little bit. If I can get my finger under it. Thank you so very much. I greatly appreciate y'all's support and you hanging out with me on the day after Christmas. And next week there will be a recording, but it will be a live premiere, so it'll still happen at 3:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it's going to be about, I think I'm still going to stick with, it's going to be about gel printing. I may put up a different video in between. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. If I get them edited, I like it. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to move this out of the way and put my dauber in the water. I'm going to roll up my craft mat here, and I'll go back through all of the pages we made today. I made quite a few. Okay, get this out of the way. So I should fold it, not roll it. Okay, so I'll take that and clean it later. Let's flip this over. This is not near as distracting. And I can clean my mat later. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Let's put this over here. Move the paint out of the way. All right, so let's start kind of from the beginning. So here is where I made, oh, thank you, Ashley, some Tattered Angel painted papers. So what I did was first, I painted several book pages with white acrylic paint, and then I sprayed my glass mat with some Tattered Angels and kind of dipped the pages down in. Thank you, Ashley, for your donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then This was where I just mopped up some Tattered Angels that was on the glass mat. Here's some more that I did of spraying directly on the page. Here I sprayed and I also stenciled through the Tattered Angels. Here's some more where I sprayed and stenciled. So this was sprayed through. This was the mop up. Sometimes they come out perfect, sometimes they don't. The painted papers have a tendency to kind of resist the Tattered Angels a little bit. So you may not get a crisp pattern if you spray Tattered Angels and then try to print it onto a painted page. Thank you, Lori, for your donation. Thank you, Margie, Ashley, Leah, Janice, and Lori, and Margie again. And Janice again. Here's another page where I did a gel print in the background and we lifted paint through a stencil off a gel plate. I needed a drink of water. I was talking so much. Here's a gel print where I used a spool to kind of twist in the paint to get a little pattern and then picked it up. Here's a gel print where I had a credit or gift card that I had cut, so it just makes a cool pattern in the background. This was picking up through the stencil onto a painted paper. This is just brayering over a scrap of book page. Here is a 2-layer stencil where I put the stencil down and we lifted the paint, and then I ended up adding more paint and then lifted the whole thing. This was lifting paint onto a painted paper, gel printing. This is the result. So we ended up putting down some purple paint before I lifted the stencil, and then I quickly lifted the stencil and got that pattern. Here is taking paint from a stencil. Here's a stencil that was over the top of the green, I think, or the opposite. I don't remember now. I have to go back and watch it. More gel printing. More gel printing. So I'll pick some of these that I think are the best and I'll scan them into my computer. This is doing gold paint over a brayered page. This is 2 layers of paint, so the gold and the pinks. That's just a brayered page, so I could have used that. There's another brayered page, just cleaning my brayer off. This was picking up on a painted page, but I didn't have a lot of paint, so I came back in with some Tattered Angels, and that's how I darkened that print up. Then this is the result of taking it off when there was too much paint, and that was the leftovers. So I kind of like both for patterns. And this one was using a different stencil with the gold. Brayered papers. Here we switched colors. So that was a romantic swirl over the green. It's kind of subtle. There's another. Now what I could do is come back and spray this with some Tattered Angels and it'll kind of soak in those lighter areas. I've done that. There's with a painted paper that I stenciled onto direct paper. This was a gold background that I stenciled the green through. This is where I did gold stenciling on top of green gel print. And then this was a gold page that I stenciled the blue on. Gold page that I stenciled the blue. And here's where the difference of pouncing straight up and down and rolling. See how you get a different pattern effect? And this is pouncing up and down through a stencil. The silver on top of, no, the blue on top of the silver, because the silver was in the background. And here we were again, silver in the background going through the stencil. Silver on the background going through the stencil. This was blue background with a silver top. Purplish pink background. And another. And another. So yeah, I mean, get out your gel plate. Here's one that we did in between. Get out your gel plate and use it. I mean, there's a lot more you can do, and playing with the smaller one sometimes is better. It makes me use the paper more. If it's a full page, I have a tendency to hoard it for a while. I don't know why, but when there's smaller papers like this, I immediately want to go cut it or make a strip out of it and maybe even to make Franken pages out of it. Just I want to use it a little bit more. So maybe that'll help you too. You need to try the silver. You like that? Thank you, Connie. All right, so we did have enough donations. So we're going to give away this bronze, copper bronze little necklace right now. And then I think we gave enough away to do the Christmas journal. So we'll go through that. You like the gold on these? Yeah, they're fun, aren't they? All right, so the winner of this necklace is Leah. Congratulations. All right, so I'll be working on prizes when I get back from vacation. Reset. Yes, I'm going to go here. Now, this is a journal that I made last week. Why is there a link in there? That's not what I want. I got to find my text. All right, I gotta get I made these Christmas journals last week. I made 4 of them, and I'm going to give away one today. I'm gonna set these aside. I think these turned out really cool. So it's got some red and green ribbon. It's holding it closed, and then this is a cover from the Christmas Dream Planner Kit. And then I made a floating pocket. So this has pockets in here as well as back here. You could put another piece of paper on the back side of this for writing. You could glue a picture to it, or you could glue it directly to a page. And I just have it paper clipped to the front of the page because I think it had an envelope of goodies. So what I did was I went on my little piles of fussy cuts that I had and chipboard pieces and stamped pieces, and then I made some even to put in here. That way you can embellish this because most of this journal is relatively plain. So you can add your own touches to it. So we got a little tag here. Okay, I know I've spent too much time. So this is plain. There's no stamping on this page. There's just stenciling. This is a piece of wrapping paper glued to a piece of scrapbook paper. Again, this is just plain silver paper. You can add your own patterning. This is a doily that I folded over a piece of music so that I could have a little delicate pocket. This is a card I made out of a paper sack. I did some rubber stamping and added some stickers. I really wanted kind of an eclectic feel to how this came together. So we got some coffee dye paper. This is a digital page. This is a paper sack. Here I have a couple of cards. So I did a Franken page in the background on a piece of book page. And then I cut some paper at angles and decorated with a digital. This is a money card that you're supposed to give to put a gift card or money in. But I thought it was just too pretty that you could also just use it to write a note. And here's just a piece of green cardstock that I added an embellishment. Scrapbook paper. And I just thought it looked cool with the layers because you have the dual pocket here. This was a book page. That was the other side. This was a glue to that I stenciled on. I made a double layer pocket here and then decorated it and just used some scrapbook papers, cardstock for some journal cards. This is a used Christmas card. And then I flipped this up and it covered up where somebody had signed the card, but this is a pocket so you can put stuff in it. And then you have the back to write on. It is glossy, so you may have to use a special pen. But this is a double layer belly band, so you could put stuff in front of the reindeer if you want. A little piece of scrapbook cardstock, and then using the prints in the background and making a little pocket. So you get all these patterns every once in a while. Norella's pages, coffee dye paper. This is just a piece of I was running out of time. Scrapbook cardstock that I stuck in there. This is one of Norella's postcards, digital images. Aw, thank you so much. And then here, more painted, scrappy papers and whatnot. And then I signed it. So you have a journal here that you can add your own touches to. It's not completely filled because you may have your own stuff that you want to add to it as you journal. So there you go. Okay. You can't even be a tiny bit selfish. Enjoy. Gotcha. Don't wear jewelry. Okay, gotcha. Alrighty. So I'm waiting for the boss fight to go through. Y'all be on the lookout for some tutorials coming because I got to sit down and edit the videos. I got to be disciplined and get that done. Giovanna, thank you so much for being here. Connie, Sandra, Lori, Bonnie, Sheila, Margie, Ashley, Janice, Lori, Leah, and Robin. Y'all, thanks so much for being here. All right, so I think what we're going to do now is got one more time to wait for y'all to get in on the rafts raffle. Lori, Margie, Ashley, Leah, Janice, and Janice again. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Yes, 5 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Y'all are here, so it's easy. I'm going to pick a winner. Yay! And the winner is Leah. 2 wins in a row. Whoop, whoop. Congratulations, Leah. I believe I already have your address because I owe you another prize that I'm not positive I've sent it yet or not. I'm so confused about what I have and haven't done recently, which I am working on a planner for 2023 because I keep forgetting stuff. Alrighty, well, I am going to get out of here. I hope again that you enjoyed this session, that you're inspired to use some of the supplies you already have or inspired to purchase new things. Definitely let me know what you thought of this video. Leave a comment down below. If you have donated today, make sure that you go over to my website page and tell me that you donated so I can continue to keep you in the YouTube donor membership. Check out the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group. And thank y'all so much for being here. I greatly appreciate your support, hanging out with me. And again, I hope you were inspired. Hey, if you have ideas that you want me to share during one of the live streams, do feel free to leave a comment after this video is over of something you want to see. We've got gel printing coming up. I'm going to do some unfinished objects, UFOs. I think that's going to be a segment that I'm going to have here in the future as well. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you. You won. Whoop, whoop. Y'all have an amazing week. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Maybe you have a blessed new year full of all the things that you wish for yourself in life and your friends and family. Lots of love to everybody. I'm going to get off here. Y'all take care. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you. Happy New Year.